I'd like to welcome Melissa Proctor, who is the Chief Marketing Officer for the Atlanta Hawks, as well as State Farm Arena.
To be honest, I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up, but the idea of being open to the journey and the opportunities that come forth, it's really been a lot of what has led me. I started out as a ball girl on the court for the Miami Heat in high school. And after that, went to Wake Forest, go Deeks. While I was in college, I never took a marketing class. Ended up as an intern in marketing for TNT at Turner. And from that, had a number of different opportunities while at Turner Broadcasting, both here in Atlanta as well as in the London office. Worked from the entertainment division, going to animation and kids, young adult, and then ultimately getting a role within Turner Sports for a startup called Upwave, which was really, really a cool idea, probably a little bit before its time. And then when that division shut down, ultimately was out of a job for a while and got laid off, and I was 8 months pregnant. But that experience opened the door to a completely new opportunity at the Atlanta Hawks, coming in as a VP of brand strategy, and then ultimately now evolving to the head of strategy and now Executive Vice President and CMO. When I first got into the role at the Atlanta Hawks, it was VP of brand strategy.
Right.
And a lot of that work was on defining the brand of the Atlanta Hawks, defining the target audience, and really creating that brand story. The one thing that we can't control in sports marketing is the team. I don't control who's on the team. I don't control wins and losses. But, around the time of this rebrand, we also won 60 games. And so that 60-win season was phenomenal, just in understanding, brand passion and energy within the city. And that energy, which really kind of helped propel our business, with the transformation from Phillips Arena to State Farm Arena, huge opportunity, never rebranded an entire building before. And so that was a very unique challenge that we learned a lot in, building strategically for next generation Atlanta and a lot of our, B2B kind of segments, and having new premium spaces to entertain clients and things like that. So that was a unique challenge. Developing a practice facility in partnership with Emory and going through that and launching it was another unique challenge. The NBA evolved within the last 6 years as well. So launching NBA 2K as a league didn't exist before. So building an entire brand for that. My role has shifted and evolved to take on a lot more departments and teams to really have alignment around grassroots marketing and what we're doing from a community perspective. And so that's been awesome. But I'd really say the pandemic and kind of shutting down a season, in March, where the season was almost ready to conclude, and really shifting our business from, being live events in an enclosed arena to looking at how do we become a community asset. We are inspired every day by our fans, by our players, by the work the NBA is doing, and I think when it is purpose-driven and we have an owner and an ownership group that has made it very clear that our goal is to be a community asset, we know what our work is and we know what it is we have to do. And I really think a lot of members of the team feel that sense of responsibility and are driven and inspired by how do we continue to do that level of work. Biggest one for me is authenticity. And I think being an authentic leader that's really looking at how to help others grow and develop, servant leadership is really important. If you're not fulfilled and living a life that brings you joy, you're not going to do your best work. And so I really, think about that for my team and want to ensure that I give them the space they need and the time that they need, in order for them to be their best so that they can come and do their best work as well. I really did write it for my daughter, Marley, as I realized, my mom passed away some years ago, and there were so many questions and things that I wanted to know how she made these decisions. How did she, what did she learn along the way? And I decided that, early on I was going to create a blog, and it was really just a way for me to put down my experiences, my journey. But every time I spoke to different audiences, the question would always come, how did you get to be, a ball girl for the Miami Heat, and ultimately you get to be a CMO for the Atlanta Hawks? What was that process? What does it look like? And so I really decided I could write this book for my daughter, but hopefully would inspire or help other people. If by me simply being in this position and having the opportunity to speak with you, or, being able to write a book and share my story with others can inspire young girls like my daughter to see something that they can now achieve. When I was growing up, I didn't know that there was such thing as a head of marketing for an NBA team, and it's really hard to be something if you can't see it. Art for me has almost become a superpower that I can whip out on occasion. And I think personally, just my passion for art and design helps me see something and react to it in a different way as a marketer than I would be as just someone with an opinion. Based on having the experience and having gone through it, both on the creative side in the development of it and now on the approval side as a leader, my strength is being able to take a blank sheet of paper and create something, whether it's a whole department or an opportunity or a campaign versus kind of copy pasting what's been done in the past. It's probably the best advice that I got is just come in and listen, especially if you're starting a new role. You can be a bull in a china shop and think you have all the answers and all the coolest things, but there also is so many things that you may not know. So taking a beat to really pause and listen and understand, not just around the work that has to happen, but also the culture that's being built. Because having a strong team and strong culture ultimately will mean good business. So I think that's a critical one. Looking at juxtaposed worlds, I think a lot of times people get kind of focused on their industry. And if I only looked at sports, that would be a travesty, because in order for us to kind of move the business forward, I have to look at best practices from other worlds. And so I would say building your relationships with people and disciplines or businesses outside of yours and really seeing how you can apply those thoughts to improve the work that you're doing would be critical.